Hi everyone, well I'm all packed and ready to head out on my next trip, so let's see where we end up today. I've arrived here at my first destination. Can you guess which station it is? Let me give you a clue, it has a platform and 3 quarters. The architecture of the roof of this new extension is really truly stunning. Now let's see if you've got the station correct. Hello and welcome to London's King's Cross Railway Station. Well, I'm here to start yet another trip. Today I'm off on yet another exciting journey by land and then also by sea. We're travelling, my first time ever, on the Grand Central Railway up to Doncaster, changing to across the Hull on northern trains, and then we'll be seeing where we go on P&O over to Rotterdam. Let's hope it all goes to plan. Well, I walk round to the front of the station, where it's a nice entrance inside to my platform. With that, welcome to Carl's Travel Channel, where every journey costs less than £200. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. Today I will be taking my first ever trip on the Grand Central service, which is docked here at platform 4. I then get distracted by a blue plaque, this one to Wilston Samuel Jackson. Well, we've made it to platform 4 and about to board. So far, so good, she's showing on time. And, not amazingly, my electronic ticket even let me through the gate. Miracles, I guess, sometimes do happen. And so, here we go. As the train accelerates, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference. And if you like, you can follow me too on Instagram at Carl's Travel Channel. As we exit the King's Cross train shed, we pass an LNER Azuma. They are the main competition on this route.
Ready all points of all items. There's also some extra space in between the back-to-back seats. Please make the decisions on this space, keeping doors, aisles and water spaces free from any obstruction.
Just passing the Emirates Stadium, luckily I moved seat to a forward-facing one and with a spare chair next to me. Fortunately, there is also a power socket here to charge both my camera and my phone to keep me going for the trip.
Catering provisions available on this service as far as Wakefield Kirkgate Station. For passengers in first class, please use the QR code located nearest to your seat to select any complimentary drinks and snacks and make additional purchases to add to your order. First class orders are delivered directly to your seat. For standard class passengers, we also recommend using the QR code. However, this is a click and collect service that will let you know when your order is set to be done. We also accept cash and card payments over the counter. This afternoon we're going to arrange for the cold beverages, including tea and coffees, soft drinks and alcoholic drinks, a full range of sandwiches, and a selection of light refreshments, including crisps, biscuits, chocolate, and other foods. To see the full selection, you can scan the QR code here.
And if you could hear the train manager over the noise, there is the QR codes on the seat as she was talking about to order your food. I'm content with my cheap Greg's orange juice. We then pull into our first station stop here in Peterborough. But alas, it turns out we are not actually scheduled to stop here. This is where the train would really start to lose time and build up a delay. I'm passing here from Peterborough. We pass here GB Rail Freight's new £5.75 million freight hub, just as there is a loud scream on board. I guess that depot is a scary place. For the length of today's journey, legroom for me was just about right, being just under 6 foot tall. Now it's time for, you've guessed it, to do a review of the loo. An alarm there for emergencies, and the toilet basin, oh and me of course. A small little wash basin which looks clean, and the soap there, and the hand dryer, and you won't believe it, it even worked. Overall I would give it a 7 out of 10 at this year's Best Loo Awards in Scunthorpe. As we head out across the beautiful, yet bleak today, English countryside and fields, the fare for today's journey on Grand Central was only £15.50, an amazing deal in the Great British Rail Sale. It was booked as a split ticket on the train line, with the northern service coming up soon. Now I've finished my Greggs, and if you look above your heads, there's some space up there to put any excess baggage.
Doncaster station. If you are leaving us here, please make sure you've got all your personal belongings, check luggage racks and power sockets, and do mind the gap between the train and the platform edge.
way to the Grand Central.
So we've arrived at Doncaster 12 minutes late, and that means we only have 18 minutes for our connection in the first place. So it's a major 3-minute rush to platform 0 for the Northern train. Let's just hope I make it.
A nice view from the bridge at least, but wow, this really is too close for comfort. I best really watch my footing on these stairs. Amazing, literally just made it with only 30 seconds to spare.
Station stop is Newcastle.
On board this Northern Trains, Class 158, very surprisingly there is even USB power down there below. Certainly I can now breathe a sigh of relief. But very sadly, relief is not something I would be getting on this journey too much, because the journey was then interrupted by the loudest phone conversation I have ever heard in my life, and it lasted for, yes, the entire 1-hour train journey. Another passenger had their phone on loudspeaker in what sounded really like some kind of Peter Kay comedy sketch, except of course it was not funny. We approach and pass right underneath the most famous thing in Hull, yes you've guessed it, the Humber Bridge, when built the world's longest. As we leave the train, a nice electronic display here at the end of each carriage to show onward connections. Perfectly on time, we make it to Hull.
Well, we finally made it to Hull.
A quick wave goodbye to our train before we go, Class 158 794.
Well, we're inside the big huge Hull Station Terminus building and about to go and find where the bus leaves from before getting a drink. It's always best to orientate yourself before the journey.
This is known as Hull Paragon Station.
Well, it turns out the bus station is directly connected inside the train station, so that makes it extremely easy as a connection to find. And how many times in one sentence can I say the word connection? Well, if you're not quite sure where we are, I guess it must be Hull.
Now I think I'll try out this new pub chain called Wetherspoons, with their local offering here, the Admiral on the Humber.
Well, we found a Wetherspoons here, so let's give it a go.
As it's a nautical themed trip, a shipyard to start.
Well, I made it here for my first pint, so cheers.
It is certainly very cheap compared to London. Including yet another free non-alcoholic drink, this cost an amazing £6.59.
And so I've ordered a small brunch, and it's just arrived. Well, I think I'm going to eat here rather than risk the £25 buffet on board the ship. Well, the Wetherspoons breakfast done, and that was very good, so we're off now back to the station to find the bus.
There was someone here asking for money, but I thought it's best to be nice and not show them in the video. We promptly and early make it to our bus stand, stand 3. Now where is our bus? I really hope it turns up. I'll look down the roof of the terminal to show you all the stands in this vast complex. Phew, here it is, the Stagecoach number 70 service to the P&O Ferry Terminal. A Dennis Enviro 400.
Well, we made it on board the bus, and that was quite easy. You just show your confirmation, and you're ready and good to go.
The top deck of the Alexander Dennis Enviro 400.
As you can see, nobody else has boarded yet, but it's a standard Stagecoach double-decker bus.
One final look at the bus stop and departure point location before we leave.
Well, the bus was a £3.75 add-on on top of the cost of the ticket booked in advance, although I think you can pay the driver on board because I heard someone else downstairs doing that. Anyway, we're about to head off, so here we go.
One of the unusual things about this ferry transfer is it is actually a scheduled Stagecoach service, number 70 listed on the Stagecoach website. I don't believe the DFDS one is like that in Newcastle, or indeed any others. we join the long queue of buses waiting to leave the bus station.
And if you wish to stay in Hull for a night before you take the ferry, there's quite a lot of hotels here, such as the Doubletree opposite, as I just showed you, and there's a Holiday Inn Express, plus many more as well, and a travel lodge, of course, should you be on a budget like myself.
Both the weather and the cleanliness of the windows certainly are looking bleak. Passing some containers, which always builds up the excitement of the first vestiges of arriving in a port. And here we are, arriving through the gates of the Port of Hull. Now, what is that big bright white object I can see in the distance? Yes, you've guessed it, there she is, my first look up close at the pride of Hull herself. Off the bus, all in all, a nice and easy journey.
Well, we've arrived at the terminal, so we'll go and check in, and it's certainly very misty and rainy here. We're now going through security, so I'll see you on the other side.
Both the check-in process and security was nice and quick and easy, and I must admit it was even better than Brittany Ferries. Now to begin the task of finding my cabin. Ah, here it is, number 9115. Now, let's see if the key card works. We all know from previous experience how tricky these can be. So, let's see. And no. And ah, yes, we're in. Second time lucky. Well, I made it on board into my cabin, and I must say it's rather small looking, but it's nice and clean and fresh. We'll have a quick look around before I leave my stuff everywhere and make the place a mess. So you can see you've got the bed with the quilt there all folded up, and a nice little desk, and a picture of Hull here to, I guess, to celebrate being on the Pride of Hull. And the ladder, should you wish to use the top bunk. Let's have a look in the bathroom for the first time. Light switch there on the outside, and there we are. The usual wash basin, and toilet roll, and the toilet, which fortunately looks clean. Right, so I'm going to freshen myself up, have a little lay down, and then go and explore what the ship has to offer. And I nearly forgot one very important part. Yes, the shower, of course, which is just in here. With a large soap dispenser, which I'll tell you about tomorrow morning. My friend booked a double cabin, which regrettably I didn't show you in the video. That was £20 extra each way. I think next time I might do that on DFDS.
Well, I'm having a little lay down and relax on the bed, waiting to charge my batteries to head back out and explore the ship.
Ladies and gentlemen, cinema tickets are now on sale at the reception desk, where details of tonight's showings are on display.
A cinema on board?
Bioscoopkaartjes zijn nu te koop bij de receptie. Daar vindt u ook ons programma van vandaag.
You even get announcements when in bed.
Meine Damen und Herren, zu Ihrer Abendunterhaltung werden jetzt an der Rezeption Kinokarten verkauft. Dort finden Sie auch unser heutiges Filmprogramm.
Well, there you go, in every language for you. Another close-up look at the desk. UK plug sockets are provided, so no adapter needed.
For as low as £20. For availability, please visit us at the reception desk on deck 8. Thank you.
A gorgeous large mural there on the wall. It's time to begin my large exploration of the ship and its facilities, and I must admit they're very good with deck plans. They're all over the place, and a big overview of them here. Usually the first thing I do when I come on board a new ship is go straight up on deck, but sadly on this vessel that is a major expedition all the way up here to deck 12, the sun deck as it is known. You then must traverse through the bar and its grand piano, then ludicrously back down the other side to the outside decks here and smoking area.
Well, the first thing I always do, as you know, when I come on board a new ship, is come up to the top deck to get a view of the whole place. Although this time, that was certainly a long walk.
The walkway to the terminal here is also via a flat footbridge, making it easy. With that, welcome aboard the Pride of Hull. She's a classic P&O Ferries cruise ferry that's been going strong since 2001, making her now 25 years old. She's a big one, around 215 metres long and a hefty 59,000 gross tonnes. She can carry up to 1,360 passengers in 546 cabins. But where she also comes into her own is she has space for 400 freight vehicles as well as 250 cars. Coupled with this large freight capacity, it makes her and her sister the pride of Rotterdam in the top 20 largest ferries in Europe. Whilst these outside decks are small, however, there is one lower level here you could pop down to. A great reminder that we're on board the Pride of Hull, registered in Nassau.
And of course I found the obligatory view of the ship's lifebelt. And right away I found in here the ship's plate.
She was built by Fincantieri in Venice, Italy, and she was christened by, yes you've guessed it, Cherie Blair. Maybe she also came up to visit this Fullhorn bar, which looks like it is only used during the summer months. Well, that's my guess anyway. It's probably quite nice out here on a warm evening.
Well, presumably this bar is only used during the summer.
A lovely map on the wall showing a chart of the North Sea, the southern sheet apparently. Just in the entrance to the bar here are two very well stocked confectionery machines. Let's brace ourselves and go inside the show bar and see what we find.
And I made it to the show bar, so let's have a look inside.
I can hear a cocktail already being shaken. My first look here at the show bar, or the Irish bar on board. The two venues are the same really, and here is the full entertainment programme for tonight. It really is like being on a cruise. And something they have on a lot of ferries, a really nice model of today's vessel, the Pride of Hull.
Entertainment we have coming up this evening. All of the entertainment is in the show bar on deck 8, and tonight it is all free to join in. Yes, kicking off the fun at 8:30 is the interactive quiz game show. Just bring yourself and your smartphone and we'll get you set up. The phone will be your buzzer. 2 drinks vouchers are up for grabs and it's free to play. 9:15 our live music begins with a resident band Millennial Century. At 10 PM I'll be taking you to the stage to perform some classics. The night doesn't end there though, disco will play right until midnight. We also have some great films playing in the cinema. We look forward to seeing you around the ship and wish you a pleasant journey with us here at P&O Ferries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly remind all passengers traveling with vehicles to ensure that your car alarms are switched off before departure. This will help us to avoid unnecessary disturbances during the journey and ensure a comfortable trip for everyone on board. Also, if you need any belongings from your vehicle, please collect them now, as access to the car decks will be restricted after departure. Thank you for your attention.
Well, they have been told, and usually on board, there's a procession of car alarms non-stop, all night. Let's see if there is on this ship.
Well, to celebrate my arrival in the bar and on board the Pride of Hull, I'm going to have a drink, so cheers. A pint of Heineken, only $5.50. Not bad, really.
Notices displayed in your cabin. These notices tell you what to do in the event of an emergency. In the event of
Let's hope we have no emergencies on board tonight.
We're back outside on deck and we've set sail. So, here we go.
Tonight's scheduled sailing time is 20:30, with an 8:45 AM arrival into Rotterdam.
I actually missed the departing the port sequence because we've departed 20 minutes early. Well, I guess we at least will be well on schedule.
The final view of land on this cold and blustery night. Over in the distance there is some kind of large industrial refinery with smoke billowing everywhere out of the top. On that note, we wave goodbye for now to the United Kingdom.
And well, we have a beer up here in the Sky Bar. Cheers. And whilst we're up here, we'll have a look around to show you it.
Spacious but very quiet, of course, on a cold Monday night in the winter. It reminds me more of another ship called the Mary Celeste. But I guess as we are off to Holland, maybe it would be more appropriate to be on board the Flying Dutchman. Some games available here in this section, which overlooks the funnel of the ship and out towards her forward upper decks, which sadly are sealed off to the public. Anyway, time now to head back downstairs, where hopefully there is some more life. It's a bit of a journey down from up there at deck 12, passing through deck 11, back to the passenger areas on 8 and 9. This comes right out by the Costa Coffee and is the only stairwell up to the top deck. Firstly, let's explore the remainder of the passenger services areas, starting here with the truck driver's lounge, or commercial driver's lounge as it is known, which sadly I cannot take you inside. A close-up of the various refreshments available at the Costa, which includes soft drinks, beers, pain au chocolats, cakes and patisseries. Also, take note DFDS, some baguettes and sandwiches. I wish they had those on the Newcastle to Amsterdam, which sadly only had an expensive buffet.
Well, I ordered the ciabatta and you can have them hot as well.
Sadly I didn't note down the price, but it was only around £5. They even serve pizzas here, which you'll see on my inbound crossing. I must also point out, past the stockroom here in the corridor, there is an expensive fine dining restaurant, the Brasserie, just up there. And a look inside the first of the two duty-free stores, loaded up there with all the various liqueurs, and rather handily, on the wall just over here, it reminds you of the allowances which you are allowed to take back with you. The duty-free store is on multiple 2 levels for some reason, with the other half downstairs, so let's get artistic with the camera and go down there now. After that brief out-of-body experience, here is the other level of the gift store and duty-free store downstairs. And after forgetting my toothbrush, I did actually confirm with the staff and discover they do sell them on board. There's certainly a lot here to keep you in good spirits. And if you're wondering why it's quiet, there's blaring loud music everywhere. Here in the main lobby are some curious automated check-in machines. Adjacent to these are some massage chairs, which I even saw someone use. I'm really baffled by those automated machines because I don't know why you would need to check in for your cabin whilst on board the ship. If anyone knows what they're for, please let me know in the comments. Back upstairs, the play area is there, off to the right, and the coffee store to the left here. Well, I'm tired now from all the walking around, so let's enjoy the P&O nightlife experience in the show bar.
Put your hands together for Millennial Century! They'll be back in 30 minutes, so don't go anywhere.
They were quite good really, and always nice to see live entertainment. Adjacent to here, or effectively the same venue, you'll never believe it, the Irish Bar. One nice touch I really did like here was this poster harking back to the days of the Pacific and Orient Shipping Company, when P&O was one of the biggest steamship companies on Earth. And as a further reminder to those old days at sea, they even have here shuffleboard, or table shuffleboard. They are certainly very big, hefty, professional style tables. The rest of this absolutely jam-packed bar is full of some nice seating, and sports screens also available if you wish to watch the football, and indeed later on some people were certainly taking up that offer. Through this door, sort of behind the stage area, goes into the video arcade, where there is a whole array of different games. Inside here is another well-stocked confectionery machine, followed by what looks like a huge array of Sega rally car machines.
Well, this is certainly a bigger games room than on board Brittany Ferries.
Plus the obligatory air hockey table, which most ferries seem to have. Unless you're on board a Brittany Ferries E-Flexer, of course. Several change machines are also provided around this area for coins. Should you have taken up the offer for cinema tickets earlier, this is where screen number 1 is located. 2 of the classic bear pickup games. In this section there are even more confectionery machines. I think I've counted about 5 now, whilst coming on board. After passing some more very bizarre looking machines, one of which featuring Mario, then the other side here is screen 2 of the cinema. As if it is not strange enough wanting to go to a cinema on board a ship, you even have to pay for it, the prices of which are shown here. This whole section I've had to mute due to loud, obnoxious music blaring through this whole area from the club adjacent. One of the other really bizarre things aboard this ferry is my cabin, or here on deck 9, is accessed from the main bar and entertainment area. You have to go in here round through the side. Fortunately, the loud blaring music seems to dissipate at this stage. There's another close-up look at the deck 9 plans. Right, I best keep quiet to not disturb any of the other sleeping guests. I did find at least that my cabin was very well insulated for volume, though my friend said he had 2 very noisy guests next to his cabin, making noise well into the night. Let's see what happens with the key card this time. Right. And oh wow, it actually worked! First time. A complete miracle.
Well, that was an enjoyable night on board the ship, but sadly now it's time to get ready for bed, as there's only going to be around 6 or 7 hours sleep until we dock in Rotterdam in the morning. Well, good night from the Pride of Hull and from the North Sea, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 7 o'clock local time. A full breakfast is being served in the kitchen, buffet and restaurant on deck 8 and also in the brasserie on deck 9. Goedemorgen, dames en heren. Het is nu 7 uur lokale tijd. Een uitgebreid ontbijt wordt nu geserveerd in onze kitchen, buffet en restaurant op deck 8 en ook in de brasserie op deck 9.
Well, good morning aboard the King Seaways, and sadly I was woken up by the vibrating and shuddering of the ship's engine from the bed. I don't know whether that's caused by the mattress being too thin, or whether it's just excessive vibration from the engine noise. But it definitely was a very, very poor night's sleep. I think in total I got about 3 hours. So I'm really sorry, but sadly I cannot give that a good review. Anyway, I'll get up now and have a shower and try that out, and hope that at least that's warm.
A room temperature switch is also here.
So let's turn that on and give it a go, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, I've just finished in the shower, and whilst the temperature was okay, the amount of space in the shower is absolutely ridiculous. It's actually one of the smallest showers on a ferry I've ever seen, and a large chunk of the space is interrupted by this very big soap and shower dispenser box, which constantly knock your body and arm on all the time while showering, and you can't even easily turn around. So sadly, the shower is also a big foul. And to make things worse, I forgot my toothbrush. Well, I guess I have to see if I can get one in Rotterdam. Maybe I'll find one somewhere. We'll go on an adventure journey for one later and see what a local chemist store is like. Well, I'm almost ready to go and try the buffet breakfast, so hopefully that's open. But to top things off worse on the ship also, there was no Wi-Fi available. The premium Wi-Fi I tried to use many times, and it was down, and it just kept crashing and jamming. So sadly, that's another negative tip for me on this ship, that the Wi-Fi does not work. There was 1 hour free at the start of the ship, which is on a different Wi-Fi channel, which did work okay, but that's all you get. So coat on, let's head out for the breakfast and hope that that's a little bit better.
I will walk down to breakfast through the entire ship, so you could get a good look at it whilst it is very quiet and eerily silent at this time of the morning. I'll speed it up to double speed, however, for you. This gives you a little orientation of where everything is laid out. Downstairs here on deck 8, firstly we head through the show bar, which at this time of the morning here over there, they are playing the news, which is quite nice really, a little place to sit and watch the news to wake up. The show bar of course all closed over there. And then here to the left are the toilets, and then beyond that the bureau de change to the right, and the ship's model there to the left. just in time for breakfast in the ship's main buffet restaurant, and here it is, self-service, a really good selection at £14.95. The same as on DFDS, I believe it is cheaper if you book this in advance. My only somewhat bizarre complaint is I thought there were too many staff. There was about one member of staff for every 3 customers. It just seemed excessive. Coffee, apple and orange juice are all provided free of charge, and unlimited refills, and even a yoghurt here to start or finish. Right, that was a very big breakfast, but I must admit I did really enjoy it, so now it's time to head back to the top deck to walk it off. Back past the Grand P&O. Oh dear, I think that was an awful pun. I'll return to the day job. If anyone understood that reference, then congratulations. A look around the sun deck bar, now it is devoid of all passengers.
We'll head outside down here for a blast of sea air.
Some more massage chairs over there. Clearly not many other passengers are up and awake yet. There's always something atmospheric roaming around by yourself on a ship's decks in the middle of the night.
I've come inside the little back shelter bar area to see if there's any roaming available already on the cellular network, but sadly it doesn't seem to pick it up well, and I always get a bit worried in case it's going to pick up the marine network and charge me a fortune, though with my phone plan I don't think that's possible, but best not risk it.
This of course is due to the lack of working Wi-Fi. As a gorgeous sunrise comes up on the horizon, we arrive into the massive port of Rotterdam, which is actually Europe's largest port, or the Europort as it is also known. Some life now emerges from the cabins. A Stena Line Ro-Ro vessel hangs out behind the Jutland DSC.
Well, we've arrived at the Europort in Rotterdam and literally are here about to berth already. From here, once through immigration, we catch the bus down into Rotterdam city centre, and that leaves from the port at 9:30 AM. And that link span is certainly high up off the water.
I must admit the funnel on this ship is really rather strange and squat, something bizarre about the Fincantieri design, and very disappointingly the flag is also not illuminated at night. It's time to head back down stairs inside into the warm and get ready for departure. Foot passengers must wait in the show bar.
All gaming machines are about to be turned off. If you are playing on any of these machines, please collect your winnings now. Thank you.
It's time to go, departing the ship via a flat bridge and escalators at the end.
Well, we made it through the passport control, so welcome here to Rotterdam. So off here now to find the bus. And it looks like they're just located right over here, very easy to find straight outside the terminal. And again, nice and comfortable onside the bus. I think we've got to wait here now about half an hour for everybody else to get through the passport control, so I might have a little snooze.
Compared to some entry ports, the EES didn't take too long. Opposite is the coach for the Amsterdam mini cruise to compete with DFDS. I'll mention that in a subsequent video, but make sure you get on the correct one. This does look like a toilet down here, but I have no idea if it's functional. It's not marked as such.
35 minutes. We'll be in the Rotterdam Central station. I'll wake you up when we are there.
And we're off, so here we go.
Be sure to sit on the right hand side because you get this fantastic view of the ferry herself, the pride of Hull, to wave goodbye to her in the beautiful sunlight this morning. It really illustrates here how absurdly high that link span is connecting the ship to the terminal, with the competitor Stena's ferry over there behind. sign shows welcome to the Netherlands. A stunning drive into town along the side of the canals that make up the vast Europort complex. And many more ro-ro vessels and industrial units. Now we have a chance, let's go through the all-important trip costings. The Grand Central and Northern train ticket was $15.50, the bus add-on to the ferry terminal £7 return, and the mini cruise £85. Really good value for money including the cabin, at a grand total of only £107.50. We arrive into the Old City and this bus is included free of charge in the cruise deal.
But almost a couple of minutes. Coach is leaving at 5 o'clock local time, of course, 7 days a week. Same place where I drop you off.
Arriving at the coach station, pulling in past a Flixbus. These always remind me of Scott's Planes, Trains and Everything videos and how he sees them all over the place. I should do a journey on one again soon too.
Please watch out for the traffic when you're getting off the coach.
Ken luckily exits the coach here via the middle door to save queuing up. But gosh, this is rather weird. It actually deposits you right into the middle of the road. Luckily the driver gave everyone a warning. One final look at our coach and the bus stop location so you can see it for yourself where you need to go.
Well, we've arrived off the bus at Rotterdam Central Station.
A real glorious station building it is too, especially on this lovely sunny day. It was redesigned and reopened in 2014. But being Dutch, please watch out for the bikes.
And one thing to watch out for in the Netherlands is there are lots of bikes everywhere.
I took a look inside the concourse to see if I could find a coffee store, but really surprisingly, all there was a Starbucks, and to be honest, I'm not a great fan of them. Really a rather poor selection. There wasn't even a bar inside here. Today's train departures. Instead, directly opposite the coach station is this rather overpriced organic coffee shop, Lebkov. The most bizarre thing about this cafe is they don't use your real name for ordering, they use names of old ageing rock stars. Today we were Barry White and Pharrell Williams. If you wish to see my exploration and tour around Rotterdam, then please stay tuned for the next video and make sure you've subscribed to see it. With that, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you of course on the next one.